Good morning everyone. Today I am in class 11th A and a debate is going to be conducted in this class today, and the topic for today's debate is e-vehicle versus petrol or diesel vehicles. So we have two amazing teams, team Lucky this side and team Chitranshi. So first of all I would like to call both the captains for toss. Please, both the captains, please come. Lucky, your call. What is heads? And head it is. So Lucky, you won the toss. Which side do you want to support?
I want to support the e-vehicle side.
E-vehicle. So your team will support e-vehicle. And so Chitranshi, your team will support petrol or diesel vehicles. So take your place and Lucky, I hope you will break guys.
Good morning, everyone. As you all know, the product that made from the petroleum, such as petrol and diesel, when they produce carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide, which can highly affect our environment and can defecate our Earth's ozone layer. And if we use them as a fuel for vehicles, they can largely affect our health too.
But petrol vehicles can travel long distance without needing fuel as compared to e-vehicles, which is better for long trips.
Why we invest in smoke when we have the solutions?
As you say that petrol vehicles can damage environment, but EV vehicles also damage environment when their batteries were made. Lithium mining and cobalt mining are polluted environment.
That's not true because EV batteries are made of lithium and cobalt, as you say, but they pollute the environment only when they are made or they are destroyed. But the petrol vehicle or diesel vehicle polluting the environment day by day. So what do you say about the environment?
For this, we can use filters or silencers to reduce the pollution that pollute our environment.
But these silencers and filters can never be the permanent solution, and they only filter 20 to 30% of the carbon dioxide and the pollution.
Let's move to the repairability of a vehicle of petrol or electronical vehicle. The parts of the electronic vehicle are generally not so abundant like the petrol vehicles has. If you want a part to repair a electronic vehicle, you have to find so many places, so that what you will say about this.
That's not true because there are over 15,000 plus electric stations all over the India. It means there will be the more efficient material for electric station. So how will you say that there is a scarcity of electric supplies and stations in all over the India?
But petrol vehicles are more practical than e-vehicles in rural areas where the electric infrastructures are only limited.
That's not true because the petrol vehicles were first introduced. The same things is applied to petrol vehicle. That time rural people thought only the animals are the means of the transportation. And what about how did you tackle this?
And you are talking about the quantity of the charging points in all over the India, but the quality is also very important. Some places there is no electricity in the charging points, and somewhere the charging plugs are already broken. So what you will say about this?
Electrical vehicles convert 80 to 90% of electrical energy into movement, but the petroleum vehicles only convert 20 to 30% of fuel energy. So that means the electrical vehicles use energy much efficiently.
But electric vehicles are under development now.
When petrol vehicle come first, it is also developing, but in this time e-vehicle is comes. So as the generation will begin, the e-vehicle will also increases and development of e-vehicles.
But if we have to go somewhere in urgent work, so we can just refuel our tank in 2-3 minutes. But for e-vehicles, we have to charge it for 7-8 hours to charge it fully. So what you will say about this?
Let's take the e-vehicle and petrol vehicle aside, and let's take a look on petrols. the scientist says that we have only 2 decades to use our petrol resources, and after that there's no petroleum in our earth that left. Then how will we do transport? Because we know that our economics or all the world's economics are mainly dependent on the transport. Either it's tourism or it's marketing. It's majorly dependent on the transport. So if we didn't use electric vehicles, then scientists didn't make any other more electric transportations. Then we don't have anything to use after the petroleum and left from the earth.
But the new discoveries are going on in the petrol products, like in the Andaman Nicobar, a new set of the petrol was found. You are saying that petrol is vanishing from the earth, but it is not true, because all over the world the companies are trying to find more and more petrol. So I don't think that for next several decades the petroleum will vanish out and we will get any type of problem from this.
And what happened after the 7 decades? Do you think that and until these 7 decades, what happened to our environment? Because when transporting the petroleum, every day a ton or 100 gallons of the petrol were thrown in the sea because it didn't use.
As you are saying about the pollution, in India the major of the electricity was converted from the coal, and the coal also produce carbon monoxide in the high level capacity. And the next thing is that electronic vehicles have the battery, and battery decompose with the time. The battery decompose with the time and reduces its quality and quantity. So if a person using electrical vehicle, he will definitely change the battery in 7 or 8 years. This will definitely give him the expense and the experience of the bad habits, because if you are changing anything, you will definitely not find that in next time. So how will you define this?
If you think smoke is the growth of the country, then maybe pollution is your success story.
In many cases, batteries of e-vehicles are explode because of heavy load and high temperature.
But it is not. But the companies like Tata's have discovered such battery which can never freeze or never be explode at any temperature.
Okay, let's move to the structure of the EV. The EVs are generally lightweight. So in the areas of the slope etc., that will definitely slip from the ground, and it will definitely cause the injury to the person who is riding that vehicle. And also the battery will explode when the temperature is gone. EV is highly temperature dependent, as in the cold areas the battery does not give him enough suction to start the vehicle, and in the hot area the battery has the high temperature and it explodes. There are so many cases already in the world that are saying that EVs are not compatible for the region of the equator or in the North Pole. So how will you change this technology to the making EV successful for every region in the world, as a petrol vehicle have already did it?
Other countries reduce export of crude oil, savings money and economic improving.
As you say, the electric vehicles were easily easily charged. So the government of Finland, Switzerland, and Netherlands make a new types of road that contain electric pipelines attached to with the road, and when the vehicles moved in with that road, they automatically get charged.
But it's about the other country. What about India?
Indian government tries to make these same thing, but it's it's in our hand. If we promote e-vehicles, then the Indian government make these such a thing. If we didn't promote them, then why did Indian government do any such thing?
As you are saying that this technology should be everywhere in the world, right? So how will you say that this technology will go to the Africa like country where already government is very poor?
First of all, we need to focus in our country, not in the African countries. And when they goes from the African countries, the e-vehicles were their problem. So they need to focus on them.
So why are you taking the technology from the Finland to the India? Because condition everywhere was already changed. The population difference is very large.
First of all, a country always compete with its inferior, never compete with its inferior, always superior. So India will need to compete with Finland, Netherlands or Switzerland, instead of competing it with Pakistan, African countries or etc.
But we are talking about the total e-vehicles and the petrol vehicles. We are changing the whole difference of the world. We are talking about not only a particular country. So why are you taking the India in your superior instance?
But this is not fight for only for our present, it is also a fight for our future. And for petrol and diesel are the fossil fuels, they are exhaustible, while the electricity is inexhaustible until the sun is in the existence. So what will we do for the future? How your petrol vehicles defend the future generation?
The petrol vehicles are already very developed and is using from a long time. The mileage of the petrol, the new technologies that are coming was taking the mileage of the petrol more efficient. Like generally it gives 60 km per liter or 70 km per liter, and it is very sufficient for the next hundreds of decades. So we don't need the e-vehicles for very short term future.
That's not true, because you are saying that the cars have a 60 km per liter mileage, but it is not applicable on all cars. You hear the name of famous car like Mahindra Thar have only 5 to 6 km per liter mileage. So this is so it is clear that petrol vehicles are not efficient as much as EV vehicles are.
Okay. It was a very healthy debate, and both the teams gave their best. So I hope you have enjoyed the debate. Am I right? Yes. Okay. So once again, I want to appreciate both the teams for their participation. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you.